Well, hi guys. Welcome. And who dat? I'm Joe. Thanks for tuning in to Rosenfield 10, where I cover our beloved Bless You Boys in black and gold, the New Orleans Saints. Are you a Who Dat fan? If you're a Who Dat fan and you love the Saints as much as I do, oh, I love them as much as you do. Subscribe to my channel. You get to hear my videos and hear what I have to say, and you let me know what you're thinking in the comments. I respond to my comments. And let's keep it in the Who Dat family, and let's have a real conversation about our beloved Saints, who right now, some of the nation and almost all of the local media has exclaimed Tyler Shough is the man. Brandon Staley's doing great with the defense, and we're on our way. So let's talk about it. I think that the Saints are doing pretty good. 2-2 in the last 4 games. Tyler Shough winning 2 games now. Defense looking really good over the last month, especially. And there's a lot of optimism around our Saints right now. There's also that talk of, oh, every time we win, we lose our draft position and stuff like that. So let's talk about all of it. I don't have anything prepared other than to speak my mind. And you guys let me know how you feel about all of this. First, we're going to start by talking about the quarterback. Tyler Shough. Well, it was a couple of weeks ago. I did a video talking about, actually, it's been probably a month now, talking about Tyler Shough and Spencer Rattler, what I thought about the quarterback situation in general. And my belief, even a month ago, was that we've got two pretty good quarterbacks in the room, and I think both of these quarterbacks could be winners if you build a better team around them. I really like what I saw with Spencer Rattler, especially this year. Getting into a new system, new coaching staff. He's shown a lot of improvement. And even though the wins weren't there, I felt like a lot of it had to do with the team around him and not so much the quarterback. And then enter Tyler Shough, who, has a lot of ability, and I'm excited to see what he can do. And yeah, I've always thought that Shough would be the better overall prospect than Spencer Rattler, but I figure you give Shough his lumps this year. Until we have a better team, we're not going to see how great either one of these quarterbacks can be. Then Shough ends up ripping a couple of wins off. And with a team that was not only pretty bad before, but is suffering with a lot of injuries now late in the season. And so, not to mention the trades we've made, this team is depleted right now. It was almost like, well, Spencer Rattler can't win but one game. Let's go ahead and strip the team. Then we get a series of injuries on the offensive line. We were afraid we wouldn't really see much of what Shough could do behind this patchwork offensive line and this this new team without, you know, Kamara who's injured, without McCoy who's injured, without Fuanga who's injured, without Rashid Shaheed who's been traded, without Brandon Cooks who's been cut, without Trevor Penning who's been traded. Yeah, and we've managed to win a couple of games under these situations. The team around the quarterback got worse, and the quarterback play has gotten better. I like Rattler. I'm not going to sugarcoat this at all. I think Rattler's a fine quarterback. I think with a really good team, Rattler could make some noise. I was saying Carolina should trade for Rattler because of what we saw with Bryce Young versus the Saints. And then, of course, Schizo Carolina goes ahead and puts together great games after us. We got to play them again this weekend, so we'll see what shows up in the dome this weekend. But I'm a huge fan of Spencer Rattler, and I'm a really big fan of Tyler Shough. So I've been saying this for a month. Don't worry about getting a quarterback. Let's just see what we have in both of these guys, either one, because I'll take the other as the backup right now and just be fine with it. I've been saying this for a month. I want to be fair and let the quarterbacks coming out of college have their chance in this postseason run that these college teams are about to go on. Give them a chance to show something. We had these championship games this past weekend, and they showed me something. Ty Simpson was my number one guy slightly as a quarterback prospect, and the way he played versus Georgia, it was just the team lost. Tyler Simpson and his team lost. Yeah, Georgia's great. I don't know if anyone's better than Ohio State. And Indiana with that team and Fernando Mendoza, they go ahead and win that game. Fernando Mendoza showed me a lot. He showed me a lot in just one game. I'm going to go ahead and edge the quarterback battle of the college prospects. I'm going to edge out Fernando Mendoza right now ahead of Tyler Simpson after what I saw in just the championship games. Big moment. You can't really judge everything based on one game, but like I say, I've judged them all year long, and they're pretty much neck and neck. So yeah, one game could change your opinion. And I have to admit, that's what's happened to me. I've got Mendoza as the number one quarterback now and Ty Simpson behind him. And is either one of them going to come in here and be way better than Tyler Shough or Spencer Rattler? I'm not sure about that right now either. Give me a month and I'll be producing videos until I can't anymore. So I'll be talking about this. We'll be revisiting all of it. But my feeling right now is Tyler Shough is a good quarterback. Spencer Rattler is a good quarterback. You build a team around them, you'll get wins. That's what I'm thinking now. You don't have to go and try to make a big splash and get your franchise quarterback right now. You might have it in Shough. You might have it in Rattler. You get a better team around them and see what happens. So right now I'm good with Shough starting, Rattler being the backup going in the next year, using all of our draft capital and building a better team around them. Also in free agency. So there's where the do you win, do you tank conversation comes in. Just something the media and the fans talk about. The players, of course, don't want to talk about the draft. They're employed. The last thing I want you to do is go and draft a player at my position and then oh, my job's on the line, right? If I'm a player, I'm thinking about the draft. Oh yeah, go ahead and make the team better. As long as I'm producing and I can fit on the team, we'll be a winner. Great, but players don't care about that. I really don't think so. I think the Saints have to win. You have to win. Who's the number one guy you're tanking for? Mendoza? No, like I said, Shough. I'll take my chances with Rattler and Shough. You going to tank for Arvell Reese? Did y'all watch the championship game between Ohio State and Indiana? Did you watch it? Did you see Arvell Reese affect the game? Did you see Caleb Downs at safety win that game for Ohio State? Gotta admit, the defense played great. Those players are good. And I'm not going to try to take too much off of it, except to say, if you're a Saints content provider and you're out there saying this team's going to get a lot better with Caleb Downs at safety, I'm like, okay, he's got one pass breakup all year, two interceptions. Yeah, yeah, maybe his first year as a rookie gets seven interceptions, blows us all out of the water. Maybe there's more to Caleb Downs than I'm seeing right now. But yeah, I'm not tanking for anybody, and I'm not wishing for a top five pick to go and grab anybody. Sonny Styles had more tackles than Arvell Reese. I don't think Arvell Reese got a sack in that game. I mean, what are we doing here? We're saying these are the guys that are going to come in and lift an NFL franchise when uh, sorry, but Reese and Downs couldn't even lift Ohio State to beat Indiana. So yeah, I'm not, like I said, I'm going to do videos about all these players. Yes, I would love to draft Caleb Downs. I would have excitement about it, and I would think that he's going to come in and be a good integral piece. But I'm not going to sacrifice winning games now to go and draft a guy that's got two interceptions on the year. Other run and get Arvell Reese thinking he's going to make this big difference when I'm watching the game and there's no difference being made. I'm sorry, it's just the way I am. I thought Cornell Tate, the wide receiver for Ohio State, came up big for him. He was closer to bringing them the victory than a lot of the other players there. So, change your mind on one game. That's what the Saints are doing. One game against a beat up Bucks team that really doesn't know which way they're going right now, it seems. And all of a sudden we're supposed to be fine. No, we're not fine. We're still a bad team, and I'm going to talk about this Bucks game. The Bucks had a backup left tackle, had a backup left guard. Okay, the quarterback's got a hurt shoulder. The running back just came back from injury, a couple of games before, and they're still out their number one receiver in Mike Evans. So yeah, you get all of that. Well, Bucks aren't world beaters. Okay, I think it's impressive that you beat a team in your division for sure. And I would love to see the Saints sweep the rest of their divisional games. Finish this year with a 4-2 record in your division. That's going to prove a lot to me, especially the players on this team. How good are you? Well, if you're good enough right now to beat teams in our division, then we're pretty close to winning our division. That's just the way it is. So, one game change your mind? Not this one particularly. The rain, the monsoon they had to play with, play in. I mean, come on. This helped the Saints big time. And we almost pissed it away trying to throw the ball in the rain. It's ridiculous. Thank goodness Kellen Moore remembered you can run the ball. And he still does it. He does the shotgun, play action stuff. Every time we were in shotgun, I was watching the game with some friends. I told them, we're in shotgun. If we hand the ball off, it's going to be a short gain. We handed the ball off from shotgun. It was a 2-yard gain. I said, I just watched the running back run 7 yards and we get credited with two. The very next play, Chuck was under center. I said, if we hand the ball off here, it's going to be a bigger gain. It was a 21-yard carry. The next play, we were in shotgun. I said, here we go again. If we hand the ball off, it's going to be a short gain. That gain was a handoff for 1 yard. Running back ran 6 yards, got credited with one. I'm just saying, this seems obvious to me. Kellen Moore is still trying to figure out what he can do with this offense. And of course, his hands are tied with that offensive line. So I'm excited. I was really happy. I thought for a couple hours after the game, yeah, this could be the quarterback of the future. Yeah, the defense is looking really good, consistent. Then I realized, yeah, we let him gain 179 yards on the ground. Oh yeah, I remember now. After a day of being removed from the excitement, I try to put my feet in the other shoes and say, hey, okay, you allow 179 yards on the ground. You had to stop them on fourth down 5 times. If they would have just converted one of those fourth downs, this game would have been totally different. You want to talk about players looking bad? Baker Mayfield throwing passes at the feet of receivers, throwing them too high. Then you got guys like Emeka Egbuka dropping wide open touchdowns. This game could have gone way bad for the Saints. Now, coulda, shoulda, woulda. It was an ugly game and we won. That shows me character. That shows me a team full of players that can do stuff and a head coach that can keep them focused. And that's pretty exciting. He's still got to, Kellen Moore still got to figure out this play calling stuff, though. These game time decisions, he's a rookie, and I hope he gets better at it. So, yeah, your mind can change after one game. If you're right there and you're not quite sure, let's see how you handle a pressure situation. Tyler Shough, he handled it like a pro, and I mean, very impressive. Mostly because our offensive line is so bad up in the middle. I mean, that big run where he had to avoid 3 Buccaneers before he took off running. That play right there is just our offensive line got blown up. Vita Veda blows up Cesar Ruiz. It's a stunt. The other guy came from the inside. Uh, Luke Fortner didn't pick him up at all. Had his back turned to him when he came in. That was the that guy and Vita Veda pretty much knocked themselves out of the play. That's how Shough was able to escape. He was able to miss one. They kind of both fell on each other. The other guy, the third guy, came in and he had a bad angle because I don't think he thought Shough could get out of it that fast. And then Shough takes off running. Shough's straight line running speed is pretty impressive. I've been saying this on my channel since the training camp that Spencer Rattler's better at getting out of pressure, but if you have design runs, Shuck's probably going to be the better guy because he has really good straight line speed, and we don't see a lot of running in last year's Louisville tape with Shuck because he had gotten hurt running around so much. They kind of wanted to limit that. Shuck needs to, take care of himself, but he is a man with a plan. When he gets out and he wants to run, he's got some straight line speed and he's big, so he's tough. Now hold on to the ball, don't get hurt, and yeah, that could be a big plus in our at the quarterback position for this team. Something we've never really had a quarterback that can run. I mean, not for a while. Jake Delhomme could run around a little bit. Drew Brees could run, just really slowly, but he could run. All right, Archie Manning was a good runner. So yeah, I'm excited, but I have to pump the brakes. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is this thing with Brandon Staley being this genius. And oh, we've got the defensive coordinator. And I hear Ross doing these videos where, ever since Chase Young came back, and then he gives you the sample size of what our defense has done since Chase Young's been on the field, back on the field. And I'm not excluding the first 5 games because they counted. And I'm also not going to exclude what Brandon Staley did on defense when he was the head coach of the Chargers. He was the head coach there for 3 years, and their run defense was abysmal. And there was only 1 year when the pass defense was acceptable. So maybe he focusing on coordinating instead of head coaching can bring a better product out. He was the defensive coordinator for 1 year with the Rams, and yeah, had one of the greatest defenses that year. They were good against the run and the pass. So maybe he restocks the cabinet with players that fit his scheme, and we go from this 4-3 team trying to play 3-4 and being somewhat effective to a team that's a defense that's going to be really effective. Yeah, so we need pieces on defense. I'm not 100% sold. I'm excited about the goal line stances. I'm excited about stopping the Bucks this past weekend on 4th down 5 times. They tried to run up the middle every time. Those goal line stances were trying to run up the middle between the tackles every time. When we played the Rams, they ran a lot of outside zone stuff, and we couldn't stop it. They were running stuff up the middle we couldn't stop, but they have a better offensive line. And then, the game against Miami, we couldn't stop the run on the outside either. So, yeah, maybe we're just good at short yardage running situations. We're good at stuffing them in the middle, and that's it. Well, I'm not going to say Brandon Staley's the greatest coordinator ever now. No, I'm not. We still got 4 more games to go, and I think overall Brandon Staley has done a really good job with the players he has. I'm not sold on the scheme, and we'll get to see more of it when we have better pieces in place. The defense is doing well. We've got some professionals on defense. We've got some young people stepping up. I'm just pumping the brakes when it comes to coordinating Staley and Shough. I'm excited. I'm very excited. And I like to be the positive guy. So you guys let me know what you think. I just had to talk about this. Watching the recap, it seemed like the Saints we're good. Don't worry about it. We're great. Oh, we might win out. We were doing this versus Carolina. After we beat Carolina, we were doing this. And then we came back and laid an egg against Atlanta and then struggled real mightily against the Dolphins. The Dolphins. Atlanta and the Dolphins. Oh, well, we beat the Bucks. Well, I'd say the Bucks are better than Atlanta and Miami. That's wild. But I'm not going to forget the last 2 losses. I'm not going to forget it. I'm not going to forget how excited we were after the win against Carolina, just to come back the next week and watch Atlanta whip us. So the Saints play this weekend in the Dome against the Panthers. We've beaten them once already, and I'm predicting the Panthers to win. I don't want to be a pessimist. I just am trying to keep everything in perspective. The Panthers come into the Dome and win this game, we're going to be right back to where we were when we lost to Atlanta. We're going to be right back there. Oh, that's right. This team isn't that good. Maybe everything did come together. It seemed like a sloppy game, right? Against the Bucks. It seemed like nothing should have been in the Saints' favor, but yet we found a way to win. That's a lot of good character there, and perseverance. Losing record, and you're still fighting. Okay, I got it. I'm excited. Do it again. Uh, But I'm going to get really excited when we see a game where everything goes right for the Saints because they force it to go right. They force the issue with the running game. They force the issue with deep shots. They force the issue on defense, forcing turnovers, getting sacks. I want to see us go out there and obviously be the better team on the field. It felt that way against the Panthers. And then we got let down with the Atlanta game and the Dolphin game. Now, were we the best team on the field against the Bucks? I think we were the more resilient team. But I still think there's a lot of talent deficiencies on this team. So I'm pumping my brakes and at the same time being very excited. And I'm never, ever going to regret winning a football game. The more games you win, the less pieces you need. That's the way I look at it. The more games you win, the less pieces you need. Because if you're finding a way to win with this team, then yeah, add a few pieces, you'll get better. But if you're losing all of these games, then you need a lot more pieces. Simple math, and I can't get excited about beating a beat up Bucks team. I got excited about beating a porous Panthers team and then watched us lose 2 games in a row. So the last 4 games, the Panthers, the Jets, the Titans, the Falcons. If our Saints have a roster that's built to win and we can force these wins, if we win out, then yeah, we're not gonna need as many pieces. And we need pieces, a lot of them. But yeah, I'm never going to say, no, I want them to lose because I did a video about the draft. Go back and through my library, subscribe to my channel, go back through the library and find the video I did on the history of the Saints and top 10 picks. I go through the last 43 years of how many times we've picked in the top 10. We talk about the players and what they ended up being. And then I also do a list of the greatest Saints of all time, and I show you where they were taken in the draft, just to show you how ridiculous it is to think that a top 5 pick is going to change your franchise. A top 5/top 10 pick can get you a great player. And yeah, sometimes it's Willie Roaf, and he ends up in the Hall of Fame. Sometimes it's Jonathan Sullivan, and he's not on your team 3 years later. So that's what I got for today. Subscribe to Rosenfield 10 for more videos about the Saints, and I'll be doing some coverage of college players, and we'll be doing another mock draft soon. And you guys can let me know in the comments what you think. And until the next one, I'll talk to you later. Who dat?